Well, this was a shocker, but breaking news is just came down the news wire and is leaving everybody in the sports world speechless. The Brooklyn Nets has finally found their next head coach. And they didn't have to go to the developmental leagues or the high school rankings or, the college, or maybe an ex-head coach, or maybe a former player who became a head coach who had some success, like Ty Lue, Mark Jackson. Just think of those names. Ty Lue, Mark Jackson, maybe Isaiah Thomas. Okay, let's get, let's go way, way back. Okay. They decided to take Steve Nash. Okay? Let me tell you guys a brief story. If you don't know who Steve Nash is, you're not aware of Steve Nash, let me give you a quick bio on him. Okay, so Steve Nash, he used to play for the Dallas Mavericks alongside Dirk, and they used to, they were raising hell in Dallas so much, but they just couldn't get over the hump. And they had to trade Steve. Well, I don't know if Steve Nash got traded to Phoenix, or when he became a free agent, he signed to Phoenix. He paired up with Mike D'Antoni, Mike No Defense D'Antoni, and the most that they could ever do was make it to the Western Conference Finals. Meanwhile, the Dallas Mavericks, they blossom from the departure of Steve Nash, and not only they advanced past the Western Conference Finals, they beat the Heels, the Miami Heat. That same Miami Heat group with Chris Bosh, LeBron James, Dwayne Wade. The final game of that series, they left Chris Bosh crying on the floor. Okay, but anywho. That's who was Steve Nash. Now, ever since he also, I forgot about this. I'm sorry. I apologize in advance. I forgot that he stopped with the Los Angeles Lakers for a cup of coffee. He paired up with Kobe Bean Bryant, Dwight Howard. That didn't work out. You couldn't get all three of them on the same court. Injury prone. Kobe Bean Bryant was fighting a torn Achilles. And I think Dwight Howard was in and out of the lineup. And Steve Nash, he never surfaced in the lineup, okay, because he had a lot of injuries. And that was his swan song out of the NBA. And, as far as a retired player goes, a former player goes, he really, haven't been in the sports world. He's pretty much, doing other things. I think he's promoting some type of product or service, but that's the only thing I have heard about Steve Nash. Okay, never I heard any inkling of Steve Nash coming to the NBA as maybe starting off as an assistant coach, or learning behind the scenes. I never, or maybe in the front office. Okay, I never heard any of that stuff going on with Steve Nash, and automatically he's the head coach of the Brooklyn Nets. Okay, this is a two-parter. One, this decision clearly came from Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. They do not want a seasonal veteran type of coach, all right, with confidence and a mindset that's going to let everyone play under his terms and his system, all right? Obviously, Steve Nash, he's going to be learning on the job, and as he learns on the job, there's going to be bumps and lumps along the way, and he's going to allow Kyrie Irving to be Kyrie Irving. He's going to allow Kevin Durant to be Kevin Durant, all right? And to me, this decision, if they go through with this decision, I'm telling you guys, you heard it here first, the Brooklyn Nets are going to squander their prime years with Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant and that supporting cast that they've been building for the past couple of seasons. And they're just going to squander all that. And they're not going to get anywhere far or anywhere near. Now, I just feel, okay, let me rewind that a little bit. I feel like they have enough talent on that roster to make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. Now, if they make it to the finals, that's a totally different argument and a totally different story. Depends on what type of Kevin Durant you're going to get. Are you going to get a Kevin Durant that's like 80%, not the old KD? All right? Because I feel like KD on any roster instantly galvanized that team to get a dub in the finals. I mean, if you got Kevin Durant on your roster, you're already guaranteed two wins, all right? You got 2 wins without even getting on the court, all right? So, you know, but even with the talent on the roster and even though those 2 superstars, you can have a Steve Nash just chilling and sitting in the back, you know, maybe giving some inspirational speeches and stories to the remaining cast. Obviously, Steve Nash is going to know his place. He's not going to overstep his boundaries or, you know, say, hey, look, this is my system, my team, everybody flows within me. This is a terrible decision, all right? I'm all for former players becoming head coach, as long as you go through the process. And I don't recall or remember in the past 3 years of Steve Nash just going through the flow, going through the system. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say this real fast, real quick. Well, what about, why come you don't have that same energy about Steve Nash? Wrong. All right. Steve Kerr started with Phoenix in the front office. Then he also was learning to become an assistant head coach, both with the Phoenix Suns and the San Antonio Spurs. And when he got his first head coaching job with the Golden State Warriors, all right, you see how that paid off, okay? Steve Kerr does have a system, okay? Steve Kerr does, even when he signed with the Golden State Warriors, he had some coaching experience. We're talking about Steve freaking Nash, okay? Steve freaking Nash. And Steve Nash does not, at this point in time, has no coaching experience. Nothing that he can pull in the back of his mind, a certain trait that, that was that one ingredient that's going to prevail the Brooklyn Nets over to the promised land. Okay. I just don't see that in Steve Nash. He'll be theoretically learning on the job, and they're going to squander 2 to 3, maybe 4 years of prime years with this roster. Okay, and then when he finally gets it, when the light finally turns on, okay, are you going to wait an extra year? Because obviously next year is learning on the job, okay? Whatever you get out of next year is what you're going to get out of next year. If he gets them deep into the playoffs, fine and dandy. If somehow, some way they trip around and get into the finals, that's a plus. That's a bonus. No one thought that they was going to do it in their first year, all right? But, and a lot of stuff is going to have to happen even for them to make it to the NBA Finals, because I didn't think there was a shoe-in for the NBA Finals, okay? Now, if, the Greek Freak leaves the Milwaukee Bucks, which that's the speculation that's floating around. If somehow, some way, the Boston Celtics give up on their future and they just start trading all their assets away, that I don't see it. The Philadelphia 76ers, they get rid of Ben. I don't see in no situation they're going to get rid of Ben Simmons or Joel Embiid. Okay, but hey, whatever. If they get rid of one of those players, okay, and if the Heat, if Jimmy Butler starts falling off a cliff when it comes to his talent, okay? When it comes to his star status, if he just drops off like a cliff, if all that stuff happens, if all those scenarios happen, I can see how this instantly make in 1 year the Brooklyn Nets winning a title, okay? Obviously, the East is going to be stacked next year. If the Greek Freak stays, if everybody stays put where they are, the better talent is in the East when you're talking about individual players, okay? The better, but I feel like as far as teams go, when you compare it to East and the West, it's not tilted, okay? I can't say that the West has the better players or the East the West has the better teams or the East has the better teams. I think it's a 50-50 split. I think it's balanced as of right now, okay? But really it all takes maybe one or two of those superstars from the East going to the West, or one of the teams in the East just starts purging and getting rid of all their players. I don't see that stuff happening. But look, that's, but besides all that, let's get back to the topic at hand, Steve Nash. I mean, there's a possibility that this could work, but I don't see it. I feel like, personally, to me, Ty Lue would have been a better candidate than Steve Nash. Okay, I don't know why I want to. Steve Nash and Steve Kerr, I'm getting kind of twisted with their names, but Ty Lue would have been better. Mark Jackson would have been better. But let's run down the line. Mark Jackson was nowhere near the final cut or being considered being head coach of the Brooklyn Nets. Why? Because Mark Jackson got a track record of being too tough. Okay? Too tough on his players. All right? So that's a wash. Ty Lue, there's a lot of people say that Ty Lue, when you look at his resume, the only reason why he won that title with the Cleveland Cavaliers is because of one LeBron James. LeBron James got all of that credit for their first title defense. I mean, for their title win, and it has nothing to do with Ty Lue. And since then, Ty Lue has been trying to find jobs. I think he's still an assistant coach for the Clippers, okay? But even if the Clippers win, Ty Lue is not going to get any credit for that, all right? People are going to say, well, Ty Lue, you just rolled on a winning bandwagon, okay? All you did was just brought the potato salad. The barbecue was going to be top notch. The chicken was going to be good. The ribs are going to be good, okay? You just came in with some fucking potato salad, okay? So, Ty Lue, Mark Jackson, to me, I felt like would have been better choices. Jason Kidd would have been a better choice. Now, the track record on Jason Kidd is, some people think that he's too player friendly, okay? And that can be, Jason Kidd was once a coach for the Brooklyn Nets, all right? So that wouldn't have worked. Okay, so they're not going to obviously hire someone that they just fired, okay? So me personally, I feel like there were other candidates that were more qualified than Steve. Now I want to call him Steve Jackson, okay? First, I was calling this fool Steve Kerr, Steve Jackson. It's Steve Nash, okay? Can you keep Steve Nash? See, this is what I'm talking about when you talk about this decision. Steve Nash, okay? Even though I have witnessed Steve Nash live and direct play on the court, okay? Still, okay, beyond that, what has Steve Nash done, okay? Look, I can understand putting Steve Nash in the front office. Maybe he can, get some seasonal learning, how to run the front office. Maybe, he can, and then maybe gradually become an assistant coach or a head coach or whatever the case may be. But you're going to make him his first head coaching job on a talented roster like that. A talented roster like that. That's, already got 2 wins tied to them. All right, they instantly got. If they go to the finals, you might as well X out 2 wins. They already got 2 W's. They're just there to play 2 more games. The team that they're playing against, they got to play 4 games. The Brooklyn Nets just got to play 2 games and then they win. Okay, so that's how good and talented this team is. Okay, by the way, yeah, I mean, complete head scratcher. And to me, this is going to have radical consequences down the road. Okay, where owners, when they do their next negotiation agreement with the players and the owners, they're going to have more stricter laws. I mean, more stricter rules, where they're going to say, look, being player friendly, giving players power to make decisions such as front office moves, head coaching moves. This is as worse as the owners doing it. All right. When the owners used to do, the buddy system. All right. They would just rotate head coaches. Okay. You didn't work out over here. Let's see if you can work out over there. Okay. You're not working out over there. Okay. Let's move you. Okay. Yeah. Where you get the same candidates every other year. Same candidates for these prominent jobs, okay? I understand, yeah, that, a lot of players, that rubbed a lot of players the wrong way. However, doing this, just making anybody a head coach, okay, that's even worse, okay? So, your average fan, who's been a fan with you since day one, they have the possibility of becoming your next head coach. Has nothing to do with coaching experience. Has nothing to do with experience overall. Has more to do with, I like him. He's player friendly. Let's roll with it. Okay. If it doesn't work out, I'm going to say, well, I'm not interested in playing no more. And I'm going to start skipping some practices, skipping some games, start being a problem. And then we're going to have to get rid of the head coach, because when you look at the two, well, who you gonna get rid of? Your star or your head coach? Okay, they're gonna obviously go to the head coach. Okay, so I mean, this is puzzling. This is really confusing and puzzling. Okay, puzzling. Okay, I'm still puzzled. Okay, still freaking puzzled. Okay. But that's what's going on. I should have done a live stream, but I figured that this was I didn't think I was going to be doing all this talking, but yeah, I did it. All right. So guys, I will see you on the next video. Deuces.